What's up, everybody? Class number 35. We're going to be going over some passing the guard. This guard pass today, classic in modern jiu-jitsu. This is a staple, and like if you look back in all of the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu curriculums from the Master Text of Helio, I did a private lesson with Chris Howder, one of the first 12 black belts. We worked on this single underguard pass in there. It's just sort of an iconic pass, and we're going to go over ways that you can use it and it not put you in a triangle choke. Okay, so these next few classes are passing the guard and attacking from the guard, and people standing up in your guard. So we're going to see some of those perspectives today, and then we'll also be looking at another little area on our pickup defense from the rear at the beginning. Okay, and warm up today, all 4-point base. Okay, so we're going to see some different sort of ideas on 4-point base, ways that we can tie those together. We've been building this throughout the last few classes, okay? So let's do this, Micah. You're here, and let's just do standing normal. So we don't want to step back. We want to step back and out. Boom. That's our good 4-point base, okay? Now remember, if there's ever pulling pressure, we need to be able to turn our rear knee in and shift, right? And that might be pushing our hips back, it might be corkscrewing them a little bit, okay? But we need to be able to maintain balance in that 4-point base, okay? So let's, right here, just a simple little drill. Start from standing with your feet in the center, okay? We're just square. And we're gonna step back, hands are coming up. And we come back here. Now do it on the other side. Step back and out. Here. Now front, same thing. Boom. We're stepping into base and we're dropping our weight down a little bit, and another side. Boom. Good. Okay. So now let's do this. Step back into base and take 3 steps backwards. Good. Step back into base on the other side, 3 steps backwards. Good. Step forward, 3 steps forward. Step forward, 3 steps forward. Good. I always want to try and lead with that foot the direction we're going. So if I'm going forward, front foot. If I'm going backwards, back foot. Okay. There'll be some exceptions if we're trying to close a big gap of distance, where we might push. We're still stepping with our front foot, but we might push off with our back foot to close a little more distance with some speed, so that we're closing distance for clinch, that 2-hand distance. Okay, so just being able to move around in a 4-point base, such a important skill to develop. Now let's think about this. So a lot of times 4-point base, oh, that's what we do from standing. No, there are other bases within that same context. A lot of times you'll hear me, especially in this program, refer to turtle, like what we call that turtle a lot in jiu-jitsu. Hey, let's work on turtle today. It's when somebody's in all 4s. So you need to be able to control somebody when they're on all 4s, and then you need to be able to have some base when you're in all 4s. So it kind of applies in both regards. And then from some of the standing guard attacks we're going to see, we need to have that belly up 4-point base. So let's get here, and let's just do this. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 backwards. 1, 2, 3. And let's go 3 to the side. 1, 2, 3. Go 3 to the side. Good. Okay, now I'm going to take one hand up and just move around. Other hand up. Now we got a foot up. Other foot up. Good, okay. Now, from here we talked about how we can sit through, and we want to have this alignment. Stepping over, good. Okay, now if we sit through, and we don't pop that hip up or we just sit back down, we can be in this sort of crab crawling position. Okay, so right here, we can kick, seated base, and we can kick and stand up, and we can move in all directions from a standing base, right? So we need to be able to, it's a good little workout, right? Crab crawling, bear crawling around. People in the fitness world are like, let's do that for fun, right? Like, I'll make our morning fitness kickboxing class do it. But that being said, we need to find our ability to move with our body, right? Jiu-Jitsu is gonna teach you ways to move your body that so few people will ever access. Well then, now move your body like that when somebody is on you, on your back, trying to strangle you. Also something we'll develop if we study Jiu-Jitsu, okay? So be able to tie those 4-point bases together. Last thing, let's check our base, maintaining it in these different 4-point bases. So go, so standing, that foot forward, good. Right here, knees are bent, hips are forward, good. I'm pushing you, your weight's in the balls of your feet. I'm pulling you, yeah, pull that knee in, hips going back, here. Yeah, now you're finding it. Yes. With that one, I'll kind of give a little pelvic tuck with that too. Yes. Right? So, that's good. That's good. Now go other leg forward. Yes. Here. Good. Okay. Now let's go all fours, belly down. This one we did last class, just kind of here. Good. Yeah. Yes. That's okay. See, you maintain by moving. Good. Now sit through, go all fours. Good. Yeah, it's fine. Stay right there. Hands behind you. Yes. Here. Yes. Very good. Okay. So guys, we call those body wiring drills. Okay. So when you maintain your base, I'm pushing you, pulling you, twisting you, steering you, trying to outbalance you, and you maintain it. It's just a process we're going through with our bodies. You know, I was recently flew out to California with my coach to train Thix and Gracie, right? And we were on the tram at the airport. And Hickson says that some of his base stuff he came up with riding the bus when he was a little kid in public transport. Like the bus driver would like take off real fast and he'd be like. But we're on the tram. Tram goes to take off at Dallas airport. And it goes that way. We lean this way. And it's something that we do in those contexts, I think, without even noticing. But then there's like these extreme contexts, like, you know, with balance and base, like board sports, or even like things like boxing and kickboxing. They have different purposes, specializations. Our number one tenet here is we don't want to get knocked off balance because we want to be able to defend ourselves against everything. So being able to maintain base and balance from standing, on the ground, belly up, belly down, great idea. Body wiring drills to do that. Make it something that we can work on all the time. All of the takedowns we do, there's a base and body wiring drill for those. All of the pins on the ground and the escapes, there's a base and body wiring drill for those as well, okay? So just some simple concepts. We'll be back looking at base next on pickup defense, continuing what we've been doing with that. Pickup defense, we don't want to get slammed on our face. It's a noble pursuit, right? So we want to be heavy. We don't just get picked up, uprooted out of the ground. There's so many bad things that could happen if somebody is able to completely separate you from the floor and arc you and set you back down how they want, okay? I want to become one of the heaviest objects, dead weight, that you could possibly be trying to hoist up like that, right? So if you've ever tried to pick up dead weight, like somebody that was like limp, right? It's hard to deal with, right? Special forces will have training for people that like, okay, this person's wounded and they are not able to stand up, right? And I've seen them do some crazy ones, like hit a running forward roll into a fireman's carry to pick up a down person. Could use the momentum to come back up, right? Because trying to hoist a dead weight person up over your shoulder, right? Combat zones, things like that. It's a skill. Okay. So that being said, what we want to work on with this is kind of becoming that dead weight, but we're not just going to go straight down with this. This used to be a big misconception of mine. I want to like fold over in your body lock, right? Like if you're trying to pick me up here, I'm going to fold over so like when you pick up, it's messing with the integrity of your grip, whether it's here or here, either one, right? So that's one aspect. We'll do just the pickup defense, body wiring drill for that base is, okay, well, that's the early phase. We're just figuring this out. Then, sometimes they are going to pick you up. There's something we can do to kind of stop that as it's happening, right? To really anchor us back down to the floor, and there's something we can do after we get picked up. So there's kind of this early, middle, and late phase defense. One of the underlying themes today is leg locks also. We've seen some straight ankle locks in this class so far throughout this program. We've seen some from perspective, people cross their ankles in the back, ways to stop and defend that. We have seen straight ankle in a few different lights. Today we'll be looking at Kneebar, and it's going to come up off this pickup defense. Okay, so get behind me. One thing, again, relaxed torso. We talked about this last class. Micah, and this, I'm not going to do anything. Just kind of go ahead and pick me up. Yeah, good. Did you see that? That wouldn't have been good for me. Okay, so that being said, I want this relaxed torso. I want to lean down like this. It's almost like a monkey posture. Again, this would be very easy to sort of arch your back and get a curve in your spine. Keep relaxed. That way when he goes like almost like a rounded spine, when he goes to pick me up, right? Very hard. So go to pick me up again. Next thing is I want to think about like going over to the side here. Okay? And this way. Pick me up again. Here I went over to that side. So straddling one of his legs is something that, it's a concept we can work on. Talked a little about that last class of getting in, stepping behind for some of the takedowns. Okay, so here he lifts me up, I go here. If I get onto his leg, I want to add a lot of weight above his knee on his thigh. Okay, so kind of hold me in this spot, Micah. Okay, I'm putting that weight down, try not to fall down. Right, so like I want to sit down on his thigh. You can already see that's hyperextending your leg a little bit. Bend your knee if you can. Drop your, yes. Okay, and raise your hips a little bit. Yes, but bend your knees. Keep your knee bent. Yeah, see that? And I'm trying not to, because the fact of the matter is, I've got this knee bar. Reverse ankle pick. This technique is so old. It is written on a tomb wall from the Middle Kingdom of Egypt. Beni Hassan, tomb 15. Anyway, but we saw this year in the ADCC Open, Jocko Willnick's daughter land this in a scramble, no gi. Girl got behind her in a scramble, got the body lock. Whoop, you're going for a ride. Ankle picked her backwards. A lot of times you'll see this in a modern sport where they roll. Person will be rolling. But there have been some variations of this ankle pick style knee bar that have come up recently, like within the last year, in the sport of jiu-jitsu, whether that's submission grappling, no gi, or even with the gi. Been seeing one where somebody's on the back and they're doing this and the person on the back does it. Right? It's crazy. I'll show it to you later. Not on this white belt fundamentals class. Okay? But it's like tears your hamstring in half. So with this, I want you to think about this, Mike. Stand here. Let's just start in the middle. okay? So you don't have to hop over to one side. Let your spine kind of relax, round your spine as I go to, yes. Okay, but see, I don't feel weight on my thigh. Put some, like through your hips, like, yeah, yeah. Now lift your feet off the floor. Are they? Yeah. See that? Okay, good. Now, as you do that, as you get that kind of weight, put your hands on the mat. Yes. See, now, see you can lift your feet up just as a test. Okay, good. Keep your feet on the floor a little bit. What I want you to do is grab the ankle. Yes, okay? Now, with this, add weight on my thigh. And what I want you to do is pull the ankle as you push back with your hips. Right? So when you set on my thigh, it's unweighting my leg. Okay? Now here's another thing about this. I'll let go and fall. Sometimes people won't, and they will pull you over. When we go back, I'll just hold on, right? The thing, if I hold on, my legs hyperextend a little bit more. So I'm gonna kind of let go to preserve. Is a way to think about this, right? And then just too, like while we're kind of figuring out the drill, right? So have a good bent knee here. That way, when you start to feel this sort of pressure, right here. Okay, I'm gonna drag you forward a little bit. Here's how we're gonna finish, guys. If you get this ankle pick, and you're here, a lot of times people show just finishing with the knee bar, right? Like just pulling it in and kind of sitting down. What we're gonna do is something a little different. We're gonna put his toes under our armpit here, okay? Then I'm gonna drop like into my 4-point base, right? Here, all right? So there, I go into that 4-point base, and I'm gonna start to swing my hips under me as I finish that knee bar. Now again, you can just 2-on-1 and grab it and go here, but they can turn their leg up. The central problem. Also, okay, why are we putting the toes in the armpit? Slack removal. It takes all the slack out of the joint. All your ability to be able to straighten the foot and turn in that. Tuck in at the elbow is a very good idea. Don't get me wrong. But this sort of idea on tucking the toes in the armpit, that's different. Not a lot of people do it that way. I learned that variation Chris Burns, Hickson Gracie black belt, and I remember showing it to one of our black belts, Jeff Woods, and he said, "Who does the knee bar that way?" Right? It's like, well, apparently Hickson does it that way, you know? It's just cool, you know, I've never seen anyone else do it that way. And the first time you have it done to you, you're like, okay, so if you know what a knee bar feels like and you have that done to you, that's different, okay? And it's because there's just no slack. I feel that in my hamstring, I feel it in the calf, all the way down the back of my leg, okay? So, let's try your finish. Okay, just find a little base here. Start dropping that weight on my thigh. Yes, hand on the mat. Okay, good. Grab the ankle pick. Boom, nice. Now, gotta step back a little bit. Okay, so step that one forward, step this one back a little bit. Good. Now tuck the toes under the armpit. Okay, now, your hips are like right at my knee. So I want you to drop straight down and then finish. Tighten that elbow, hips under you. There you go. See, it's like this. Like your hips are gonna kind of sit down, this knee's gonna turn in a little bit, and then you're gonna be able to make your hips go under you like a pelvic tuck. Okay, try that one more time. So drop the hips down a little bit, now finish it. I even felt that in my hip. That's weird. Can't be good. Okay, so that's the ankle pick. That's the knee bar. Great technique. Let's look though at this, that's just kind of getting in there, picking it up. When we start, like somebody's really trying to hoist this and slam us. The other two ways of dealing with that, right? Sort of the early phase of what we're just looking at, like, oh, I got it, it worked. Shouldn't have grabbed me that way, haha. Sometimes they're gonna pick you up. So great for self-defense. I remember the first time I saw this as a white belt. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, because of it either prevents the pickup from happening to where you get jerked all the way up off the floor, or you do get jerked up all the way off the floor and it makes them put you back down, right? So there's like a sort of thing you can do to steal their momentum to where they're not going to be able to slam you. Okay, so the first thing that we do, and we see this in some of the other classes from a little different perspective, but also back defense, is we hook right there. Okay, so start trying to pick me up, Micah. Cool. All right, see I'm hooking here. So if I have hooked here, start trying to pick me up, it ain't gonna happen. Right, and go ahead and pick me up. See, I can hook as you're going to pick me up, right? Let's do this with you, because I'm a little heavier than you, aren't you? About 40 pounds or something. Okay, this leg will hook around. Go ahead and hook it real quick. Grab that one too. Hop that way. Yes. Just like that. All right, we see that previously in the class, like in some of the first classes. The sort of defenses to the rear clinch. Okay? So this is that same style of hook, but we're doing it as a slam prevention. We're not necessarily trying to hop out no soda you with it, right? Maybe do that ankle pick Kneebar thing, all right? But this is just, again, just hook with it so you can feel it. Now I'm gonna try and pick you up. Not happening, okay? So unhook it. Now actually, just let me pick you up a little bit, and after your feet get off the floor, I want you to hook it, okay? And what I mean by feet off the floor is like, do that little coast over my thigh thing. Don't hook the leg yet. See your feet, like, you still heard them go. They slid a little bit, but they were unweighted, right? So when your feet get unweighted, all the easier to step and hook you with, right? Like, so I'm gonna pull there, yes. See, and then I'm in a prime spot for that knee bar. Lean forward, put weight on my thigh, right? And hand on the mat, ankle pick with the other. Boom. Scoot back a little bit. Yes, drop down and finish. Yes. Okay. Now, and you've seen some of this a little bit, right? Remember how at the beginning of this conversation we're talking about, if their body lock is here, I want to put weight into your grip, right? So I'm kind of like this with this sort of rounded spine. I'm relaxed. I can go forward or backward. My weight's dropping down, but I'm folding like this. Okay, so this being said, they are able to pick you up. You can't maintain this posture. What would be, this is kind of in the middle, but I am sort of sloped forward and rounded forward. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna arch backwards. So this one, I'm gonna pluck you up off the floor. You were not able to do the stuff. And as you start getting to the top, you're gonna go, boom, and then like that. So this position here where we're on their thigh, you're gonna finish right there. Okay? Try not to fall over, don't pick me up super, super duper high. Go ahead. Like that. Right? Pretty simple. So we'll let you do it with the ankle pick a time or two, but just stop me from picking you up. Another thing I will say with this is you can, after you're getting picked up, you can add the leg hook kind of like in combination with this. Sometimes you have to use them together. I'm not worried about that today, all right? But just when I pick you up, boom, and down, okay? Then we'll add the ankle pick after we get a couple of these, all right? Oh yeah, and you added the hook there too. Good. Man, sometimes you have to, right? Yeah, I'm just not trying to, look, these three things, right? Don't get picked up. I suck at that, okay? Hook their leg, it'll help you if you're a little late. Oh, I suck at that too, okay? Do the thing where you do this, arms up, arms over. Okay, yeah, and you know, you can bind the leg hook with the leg hook with that, and that's fine, right? So, let's see that again. Yes, good. And lean forward, good. Yeah. Oh, very good. All right. Okay, so again, sometimes the person will get So they'll hold on to the body like they'll pull you over, and you'll kind of fall on them. Not that big of a deal, right? And then here's another thing. I was teaching a seminar recently. This would be a bonus. And the person was asking me like, well, what if they're trying to throw you this way? Or like here, sort of a common one. One of our white belts really enjoys this. And there's a viral video of the mountain from Game of Thrones, like the biggest, strongest dude in the world or something. And Gordon Ryan, who's one of the greatest competitors, hits this on the guy. So because of that, that's a popular technique, right? The Danaher people in the sport have popularized it. There's this video of Gordon doing it to this super strong guy, etc. So the thing is we can use this base to counter when somebody goes to bring us backwards. Okay, so if he's like trying to go here and step across, like, yeah, right? I can just lean forward in the same way, try and pull me backwards. Can, right? And it's just sort of this, oh, you want to throw me backwards? I'm going forward. Oh, you want to pick me up? I'm dropping downward. And also forward, because here's the thing, you got to think, like a lot of times to pick somebody up, we got to get our hips coming up on this. It's like a forward scoop at the beginning. So these are just little nuances about base and about like something we've done throughout the 34 classes is talk about these postures and how we want to be able to have relaxed spine. We want to be able to move forward and backward. So that involves staying in the middle a lot, or it involves countering. Somebody's doing something, do the opposite, right? So pick up defense, slam prevention. You've got your reverse ankle pick, what we call that one, and a knee bar, okay? So last up, what we'll look at is a couple of concepts on breaking and passing the guard, and we'll see a couple of other leg attacks there. All right, everyone, I'm going to be looking at some guard passing, and then we'll look at some leg attacks, okay? So even in the beginner program, we teach like one of every one of the leg locks. So you've seen some ankle locks. Even in this class, we saw a knee bar. We've even touched on heel hooks, right? You skate mount, there's a heel hook right there. Okay, so knee bar and toe hold will be what we get into here. This pass we're going to do, single underguard pass, is a classic, but it's one that people make a lot of mistakes for. And also, the mistakes that they make can end up leading to you being put in a triangle choke, okay? So single under, like one thing we tell people on triangles is, hey, both arms inside their legs or both arms out. But that's not always true. That's what we call a heuristic. That's a rule of thumb. That's a good approach. But that being said, doesn't work all the time. Rules of thumb, they work a lot of the time, like 90%, right? So what will happen is you make a mistake or two, and somebody will capitalize, put you in a triangle choke, okay? So let's talk about the thing to do so they don't put us in a triangle choke. So essentially a single underpass is this. Okay, I can't do it like I just did it, or go ahead and cross your feet. Boom. You see how you're able to just cross your feet? Now I'm in danger, right? So if this does happen, you'll just need to start running our triangle defense. Okay, go ahead and come back. The proper way to reduce that risk is to get further away from him, okay? So here, if I just put this in, you start going for the triangle now. Boom, yeah, just that, yeah. And just boom, that part first, and then you can worry about all this other stuff, right? And then there's a couple of people I hang out with these days that don't even worry about moving the arm over on the triangle. It still choke you so much you want to throw up in your mouth, okay? So, all right, that's just like the thing, like you get to the highest levels of the art, right? And these people I'm referring to are ahead of me. They're like, yeah, you could do that if you wanted. Like, I don't do it anymore. And they go unconscious either way, right? So, okay. So, anyway, I want to put a knee up here, okay? Then, a detail I always give people, and I don't even remember who I heard say this first, right? The first person I saw show this guard pass was from an old DVD I had from the early 90s with Henzo Gracie and Craig Cuco. And it was like a whole series on this pass, and several variations. But put your hand in your back pocket, right? And that's probably from that DVD. I would have to double check. The next detail, and I coach people to do this, whether they're in the triangle or whether they're doing this pass. This is the single under leg. Once I get it on my shoulder, he could still do something like raise his hips up. Yes, okay, go back. So I'm not safe just because I'm higher. What I have to do is lean on his hamstring, okay? Now, when I do this, I'm thinking about my chest connecting here, okay? How's that feel?
Not great.
Not great. Now I'm gonna start looking up and I'm taking his knee to his nose. How's that feel?
Even worse. Terrible.
It does, it feels bad. You get to do it to me in a second. I thought about it and I was like, man, Michael's gonna hurt my back when we do this. But, well, I was thinking back because I had done this lesson with my friend Jack Toffer. Got some great videos, BJJ versus cancer, you should watch them. So I've done this lesson with him, like on kitchen floors, you know, and like at different places that we were hanging out or training together. And it puts a lot of pressure on you, especially coming from that particular Hickson guy, right? So look, come up with a knee up into combat base, here, right? And then take his knee to his nose as I look up and pass, okay? So, Micah. So let's just get in a, kind of sit down on your heels. Just put your hand in your back pocket without doing the knee up thing. Okay? So again, this just reduces that. So kind of keep this knee up and turn a little bit. Boom, now go hand, see how it repositioned you and everything. Okay, so once you're here, you get that on your shoulder a little bit, boom. Then you got to deal with me doing this, so lean into it. Yes, keep leaning forward. Your chest is kind of open, yes. Take my knee to my nose, look up. Lead with your hips, keep your hips heavy on me. Yes! Oh, it's hurting at the end. Oh, that was terrible. I was thinking about that earlier. Okay, now, I made one small mistake before. Oh, it's not that big of a deal, but let's see if you do it again. Just do the whole thing. The old sweep there, gotcha. Right? All I did was pull my legs, because I was like, oh, he's leaning this way. So I'm not gonna, boom, I'm gonna pull my legs and push him that way. Okay, so twist as you do that. Yeah, so you go to the back corner, wheel this out. Yeah, see, I'd even open my guard a little bit, right? Now go hand in the back pocket, boom. Get it up under the shoulder, good, there, hips forward, lean on it. Take my nose to my knee, very good. That hips forward detail is the money shot for you. Let me get your guard again. Bro, you need to get your mom to put a patch on these. For your grandma. I got one I need patched too if you have one of those. Okay. Right, so it's like, we're just trying not to lean across this plane, particularly not that way. So like what I'll do is I'll even widen out, boom. Look how that kind of opened. Because if it opens, it's fine. The single under is a break and it's a pass. You feel how my hips are not connected to you?
Right.
Yeah, now they are. Now, see how we're looking at each other in the eyes? I don't like looking people in the eyes that I'm trying to kill. Actually, I do. I just don't like it when they're able to do things. Right? After I get out of your guard, I'll start looking in your eye again. But people, when I was coming up, people would talk about stuff like this, like posture and guard, and they would say this, they'd be like, look up at the ceiling. And that doesn't do it. Right? Like what they were really saying was, bring your chest forward, And like there is a moment where we'll look up to pass the leg, but it's so subtle. People oftentimes will look back to achieve that, and there's a counter there. Okay, so keep that weight coming forward, in, and down as you go around. There's no really lateral or backward corner or anything to this. It is folding them up, stack passing with the single under, taking their knee to their nose from your hand in the back pocket. So, what if we're in a triangle? That's the problem, right? So go ahead and put me in a triangle shoulder. Okay. And get everything you want. Okay. Here. Now look, you see my head's down? I want to get that chest coming up. And then look, see, I'm looking up. I'm not looking here. All right? See that? That's an old school judo idea. They do this single and double under pass a lot, and this will be trapped either here or here. I just grab your wrist as I did that, right? You can grab wrist, gi, whatever. So, and then you'll be getting this here. So it's like now you just have one hand to defend with, essentially. Go ahead and start defending with that hand. Then it's me fighting. I'm just going to pull that hand when you do that. That's the paper cutter choke. We touch on it. It comes up after like one of the guillotine defense takedowns we do in an early class. And it also comes up off of these single and double under. If we're passing under both your legs, it comes up off those guard passes. Okay? So the idea here is the same. But the big thing, I've got to connect my chest to your hamstring. If I can do that, I'm not pinching my shoulders in the back when I do this. If I can connect my chest to your hamstring, I'm going to be safe. That is the stop for the triangle. Another mistake people make is they'll do this and then they get in a hurry. Dude, I'm going to make this as slow of a pass on you as possible because I see that you suffer through it. I've done this enough to know that it doesn't feel good. Like we've been joking about it this whole time, right? So I'm like, I'm going to make this suck as long as possible for this person. They're trying to submit me. The match would have been over if they would have got it. Like, so I want to get in that posture, connect, lean, and just work your way past slow. Let's do that slow. So, here. I got my triangle set, okay? So, start coming up like you're in a mountain climber. Okay? Now, everything, see it's down. I want you to connect your chest. Still look down, right? But yeah, see, now you're, feels in my calf now. That's weird, right? So, keep your chest connected and keep walking forward as you keep this posture. Lead through your chest. Keep going. See, it's not open yet. My ankles are like just barely like that. Keep this. Keep taking my knee to my nose. Keep coming forward. Look up. All right. Here's the thing. If we were rolling, I still almost can't dictate the pass. Meaning, like, there's a moment there where I'm like, this is going past, dude. I want you to feel that way on all my guard passes, right? Like, man, I just wish this dude passed my guard. Like, this is terrible, right? That means you're doing a good job, okay? And the pressure and the stack of this, usually, even if I relinquish and kind of surrender, and I'm like, you just passed my guard. You still don't have to do it slow. I, again, am going to move slow as possible as I get through your legs, okay? Next up, let's take a look at this idea of a standing guard pass, okay? There's lots of ways to stand up in the guard. We can do this same guard pass from standing. But instead of the standing guard pass itself, we're going to loop into the knee bar. Okay, so here. This is a subtlety of this. One, we talked about this in a previous class on punch defense with guard. I want to hook over with my sloth paws, right? If I just go hands in the biceps here, grab your gable grip, make a muscle. It's a wrist lock. You see that? Now do that slowly and turn your hip that way a little bit. You can open your guard. You're gonna break my arm. You're gonna spiral fracture right there, all right? So, and I'm giving it to you because I'm putting weight on your biceps. So if you know wrist locks, this could be a risk. So I'm gonna go here to where it's more my forearms on your biceps and more my sloth paws, and these grips are on his triceps, okay? So as I'm here, I wanna think about standing up, okay? So a little nuance here is if he starts trying to come inside on one of these sides, yeah, what I'll do is I'll follow. So try and go over, right? I'll just go here, try and go under, I'll go here. Like that. Now this is not it. This is the subtlety of once you've already stood up. Because you could do things here. Keep your guard. You alright? Your face looks a little funny. Let me fix your gi, maybe that'll help. I think it's because this is all up in your face, you know. Alright, and I can see better. Here, once I do this, like just pushing will open. Okay, but like look, I'm gonna go this hand in the back pocket idea and go here. Post. Here. Why did I do this? Any idea?
Soccer move?
That was a good answer based off of the previous information that we received earlier. Sort of. Okay. If I continue back here, you would be kneebar. Turn your toes that way. No kneebar. Alright? So you can turn your toes. It doesn't matter which way you turn, to be honest. But that, like if you could turn your knee inside of my grip. So I grab your big toe and I put it behind my head. So you can't do that. Okay? This way. And once I'm here, here's what my feet are gonna do. They're gonna cross. I'm gonna grab here, and what a lot of people do is they come in with their heels and they kind of pinch their knees together. Did you feel how it was like shaking? So I'm gonna, instead of curling, I'm gonna open my knees, right? So again, most people bring the heels in, right? So instead of that, we're gonna cross our feet and we're gonna spread our knees apart here. Way faster and no instability. When I was just like pinching tight and moving my hips, my legs were trembling, right? So that being said, here, I wanna open my knees apart and come forward. And the detail I always give people on this is like, look how much I can move my hips. And I can get there, but watch here. Right, so this is either way. Part of that is that I'm standing on the mat here, whereas I can't really do that as much here. It's just a different sort of nuance of the technique, okay? Let me do one more on you, please. Okay, so here, if you start trying to go over, trying to touch my face, going over, I follow you. Okay, I open that door. You start trying to come under, I close the door. This is Mr. Hand. He's gonna go in your throat. Oh, how about that? It opened. If it opens, guys, just here. If it doesn't open, do what we did on the other guard pass and put your back hand in your pocket, and it'll open. That's just a single underguard break. A lot of times when you drag people up, like I did, that second part puts you up on your neck and stuff, had to fix your gi. When you do that, a lot of times people will open their guard. Oh man, it's back, I'm gonna open my guard. Or if they hold on, put your hand in your back pocket, right? So, here, I'm gonna grab, cross my feet, and open. Again, here. Here, you try one, Mike. Get your sloth paws on my biceps. Good. A little closer to my elbow joint. There, yes. See that? You even feel that. I feel way more restricted. So this elbow, just if I go up, raise. Good. If I start trying to come back down, pin it. Good, Mr. Hand. Yeah, but keep the weight there first. Boom. All your weight right here. Yeah, I don't like that. Mr. Hand goes to my neck. Stand up. Boom. Okay, now, I feel pretty good here. Do that thing where you drag my hips up underneath you. Stand all the way up. See that and pull me with you though. Go back down. As you stand up, drag my shoulders toward you. See that? Right? So I either have to open my guard or, I was gonna say I didn't. I was just being stubborn. Just right here, just push down. Boom. Hand in the back pocket. Scoop grip right here. Scoop grip is where we grab the leg with an underhook. This hand's gonna, so I'll step back with this one. This hand's posted on the mat. Swing around that leg and grab my big toe. Yes, right? Like go over it like that. Yes, okay? And then that other hand will just come up behind my Achilles. Yes, okay? Fall on your side, put that under your ear. Get your feet crossed, right? But this, yes, and your knees are gonna open. Yes, come back. Scoot into me a little bit. Drop this down. Boom, yes, okay? Now, as you open these knees, make these hips come forward in my hand. Oh yeah, see? Way worse. See here? And guys, this is a side. We can do this from kneeling. I'm gonna show you a sidebar here. I'm coming back here, I'm getting into this. There it is. Here, get on your side, right? So that is single under to the knee ball, okay? Now last thing, toe hold, okay? Right here. Like this, okay? Look, I don't want to, like when I was first learning the toe hold, nobody emphasized this stuff to me, right? And it took years to figure it out. Like I would always get people in it. I was like midway through my brown belt before I had crafted a toe hold that was useful. This is one of the most fundamental ones I know. And it comes off of when somebody does something very common, recovers guard, right? But this isn't the same context on every toe hold, okay? If I was between his legs versus the outside of his leg, it might be a little different, okay? But here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab the toes and grab the wrist. See how that's snugged up on the inside here, okay? So like, go ahead and bend your knee for me just in this. So he'll be bending his knee, recovering guard here. And I want to think about, like, I'm pulling here, so that's one motion. I'm going over the end of his toes, not the mid-rib of his foot here, like that. Boom. Like I'm going over almost all of his toes. Oh, sorry. Not sorry. Right? And then too, like look how this elbow, this elbow is a lever, right? Like where the fulcrum is creating leverage rather. So here, boom. Okay? And a lot of toe holds, people won't be emphasizing. And see, like, look how you can kind of turn that way with it. See, you can do things. Watch this. Here. Right? And that was just me dropping weight like this. Right? But I had your foot. Boom. Okay? So, side control, please. Look, when somebody goes to recover their guard, go ahead and just get your shin in to go recover guard. Hey, look here. Boom. Right? It's right there. And once I'm here, yes, I'm just gonna go here. Try and kick your legs straight. Very hard. Okay? If you do kick your legs straight, I'm still likely to finish it. But think about how many things we've learned in this program that are the opposite. Hey, so you're trying to push me this way, so I lean that way. That's the opposite of what you're doing, so nothing happened. It's literally that simple, right? Sometimes the opposite is like, oh, I thought it was that angle instead of that angle. It might be, they're going that way, it might be, yeah, I'm going this way, but I'm going down with it too, so they don't pick me up or whatever. So there's some nuance there for sure. But with this, man, it's that when you lean weight back into that shoulder, that leverage of that lat is very strong because you're using your back muscles, right? So go ahead and get me with side control. Good. Now come in here. Yes. Okay, so grab. Now, see all this? Okay, and you can turn a little bit, turn your body that way. Oh, yes, boom. Now you see this? That's what I was saying about sink weight into your lat. Now just hold this. Okay, I'm gonna try and kick my legs straight. As I do that, you just lean back. Good, okay? Now get your finish. Pull. Right, so this is gonna, there you go. This is gonna pull my foot this way. And I want this to take my big toe, this hand, towards my butt, my tailbone. Try and bend my foot towards my tailbone. There you go, okay? Now, I'm gonna try and, I want you to do that while I'm trying to straighten my leg. That hurt way worse. Okay, we're done. That's good. Still hurts. I know how you feel. That guys, it's no joke stuff, right? It's basics, it's fundamentals. Like if you went and watched Hicks and Gracie's self-defense curriculum for everyone, this move is in it, right? And it's a move I've learned from one of his black belts, right? And the reason we do it in this class is because it's in his self-defense curriculum, right? And he is like the Kneebar we did this class. It's not any more complex per se than the other Kneebar. If I had a choice between being a white belt or teaching white belts the ways that we did the Kneebar and toe hold today versus how I learned it, I take today's version all day long. It's not harder, it's just that it has maybe one or two details that I wasn't told about. Did I tap people with the toe holds before I knew that? Yes. Knee bars? Yes. First tournament I was allowed to do a knee bar in a tournament, I got a knee bar, right? In the colored belts coming up. That was actually a purple belt because they just started letting you do knee bars at purple belt, and they made that change when I competed. But here's the thing, because I had been crafting, I was able to go out there and get one, right? And that was just a long process for me. There's already people we see been doing our beginner program, been doing this class, and like they go out into the noon class or whatever other class we have, and they're so much more adequately prepared, right? And it's funny because the other black belts here, the other higher ranks, they see a notable difference. Like, wow, it's like the people that are doing that class and they come in, it's like they already know that they fit right into the main class versus being lost in the main class. Right? So, you know, that's a really cool thing. So if you think about like, what are the fundamentals? The fundamentals are the things that you carry to the other class that make you not feel lost in there, right? And again, that is just hearing other people in this gym describe, because we didn't do this program until within like the last year or so. And that's easily one of our most popular classes, right? It's always full. I enjoy working with the group, and it's a little lower stress environment. That other class where we roll and there's like black belts and brown and blue, they were all with the belt ranks in the noon class yesterday, right? So that being said, you know, okay, yeah, we're rolling all this stuff. They are adequately prepared for the stressful experience before getting to it, versus just going in like, oh, what's this hip escape of which you speak? Alright, so that's that. Fundamentals, guys. You're going through this class, you kind of know what they are, right? And self-defense is something we work on. It is a definite component of this course, but the fundamentals are moves that work for everyone, right? The fundamentals are the moves I'm gonna do against other black belts. That's a great way to describe it, right? Yeah, it'll work on you. You know what? I got a bunch of moves that'll work on you that won't work on the other black belts, right? And sometimes I do them just to be funny, but that's my own, sick, twisted sense of whatever. You gotta have fun with this, like the sport, like it's all that kind of stuff, right? But at the end of the day, if I'm like really respectful of your game or hurt or tired or sore, I'm going to the fundamentals all day long. And I feel like too, and people remarked, when I'm doing a fundamental roll, it's a noticeable difference. Almost all the time when I'm doing a fundamental roll, my eyes are closed, right? Because I'm not thinking about techniques or grips or anything. It's like whatever you do, I'm thinking about that. So really great thing to do, roll with your eyes closed. Challenge, blindfold, or just close your eyes. I've been doing it a lot lately myself. Multiple students like, oh, it's cool how you're rolling with your eyes closed. And I'm like, yeah, I just had to look around when we're over here because I thought we might be by the mirror, but we weren't. You just gotta, sometimes people, like, I didn't think about that until I was like, okay, we were about to reset, and I was like, oh, okay. Right? But man, we just got so overwhelmed with like trying to hit the move from last week, and this the thing I saw on BJJ Fanatics, and I need to pay my taxes, like that time Edward got choked unconscious at the Chris Burns seminar. All these things, they distract us from jiu-jitsu, right? The number one thing everybody comes in here says they benefit is that they are able to tune out all that bullshit when they're rolling, right? But then too, so imagine being a black belt and rolling for 18 years now. It's like you hit a point where I'm not thinking about all this stuff, right? I'm just like, man. And so if I don't do things like roll with a challenge on myself or handicap or start from under side control or eyes closed, those thoughts will creep back in on me, and then I'm getting diminishing results, right? So it's a lot more similarities on this end of the room than you would think, okay? So that's the black belt is the person that didn't quit. That's the best way I can describe it. So don't quit. You're gonna have terrible days on the mat at black belt. Somebody like this guy will submit you to something, and you'll be like, damn, right? But here's the thing. Whoa, great. Oh, you submitted me? You're one of my students. That's great. I'm glad that we could work together, and then you did your own stuff on your own too, but man, you're getting better. Not, bro, I'm pissed at you because you hit me with that arm bar. You hit me with your baseball shot. That's bullshit. No, right? It's easy to get that. It's just ego. Don't buy into that, right? Pat him on the back, start again. And when you do things like start under side control, you get a lot less worried about that, right? I saw Hickson Gracie tell my coach to prove a point of something he was teaching us. Take my back, set the choke. And then he got out. Took him about 3 minutes, but that dude stole 1 centimeter at a time from drain over a 3-minute period and was able to move like 5 inches by the end of it and got out. He wasn't in a hurry. You know how like if we were doing that, I feel like afterwards we might be breathing hard or sweating a little bit, especially if we've been training a couple hours at that point. No sweat. Wasn't breathing hard. Only time he breathed hard was when he like put 1 finger in the collar. It was so subtle. And I'm watching this go on, and my mind was blown. I'm like, what damn drink's wrong with Hickson Gracie right now? Like, what am I seeing? But then, like, the bigger lesson, like, Hickson did freak out. He's 64 years old. He has Parkinson's. He let somebody that is a 5th-degree black belt and a formidable martial artist take his back and set his grip, and he still got up.
And it wasn't like, I will say this, what do you do if you didn't drink? You don't try so hard. That's not what you do when you're 5th and 8th degree black belt, or things like that, right? So he did the appropriate amount. He was trying. You could tell he was trying. He was a little tired afterwards. He's the one trying. That's how much his jiu-jitsu, how he believes in it, how it works for him, right? So that's just it, guys. When we say jiu-jitsu for everyone, what I really mean is that you can be 64 and have Parkinson's and in the worst spot, and you put yourself there, and you're doing all this stuff. You're not freaking out. You're not having this mental chaos. You just know. You know this is what we do. We've just been doing this whole life. So, cool story from the SoCal travels. We'll add that one to the list. Okay, that's it, guys. We'll see you next time for class number 36.